Hello again, everybody. I had a little chance to learn about Japanese acupuncture, and they have a very interesting technique which is called osuhide. And this is the passage from the book Japanese Acupuncture by Junko Aida. First, using your left hand, locate, fix, and ready the point for needling. Actually, this is quite common sense, which commonly also neglected. Using left hand, locate and fix the point and palpate the point. Palpate the point. This is important. Palpate the point to determine the exact location to needle with your fingertip, usually using your left hand. And make a osuhide. This is just simple finger shape over the point, and the osuhide can be circular or semicircular, either full moon or half moon shape, whichever is easier and more comfortable for you. My case, half moon is way more easier. And I heard that some school in Japanese acupuncture school, they teach osuhide even couple of years, like 2 years, 3 years. So I thought to myself, wow, Japanese people are very stupid. How can they take so much time to learn this one? I just learned this one in a second. So it was very strange to me. And this is the shape of osuhide. Osuhide is commonly performed by holding needle and needle tube with left hand. So this is the purpose of osuhide. Just try to read it. So I think this is from the same book, but that is not the point. And let's see how actually Japanese acupuncturists do osuhide.
符号を取ってから全10年全く押し出までは同じです。新管を挿入し
And how he prepared the point with this finger shape called osuhide. Still, I don't think it will take a couple of years to learn about that. So osuhide means helping hand. Not much of complicated meaning. This letter means press. So this is a pressing hand, palpating hand, or investigating hand. And this te means just hand. If you go to the sushi restaurant, there's something called temaki. You don't use your chopstick when you eat temaki. You use your hand, like a pizza. Everybody eats pizza with their fingers. And we use hand when we eat temaki. So te means hand. So this is pressing hand, supporting hand, left hand. And opposite word for the osuhide is sasuhide. Sasuhide means insertion hand. It means inserting. So pressing hand and inserting hand. Strictly divided with its function. So osuhide not just meaning the shape of the fingers, but it is about using left hand. Training point location, hand, and needling hand. So osuhide, sasuhide. Live point location, this differs from anatomical location. Here is a new term, new terminology. Live point, have you ever heard that? Live point? So we can see that they use osuhide to locate the live point. I thought myself, okay, they need a couple of years to be able to locate the live point with this osuhide. That is the reason why it takes so long period of time practicing this one. This is not only referring to hand shape, but it is referring to learn about feeling the acupoint with their and my left hand, osuhide. So this is not a new concept. Actually, this concept is in old Chinese classics and Korean classics too. TMT means Asian acupuncture therapy. So Toyohari means Asian and meridian means channels. So this is an Asian acupuncture therapy. So you can just change it to TCM or just Asian medicine. Acupuncture point or acupuncture point or points. Acupoints are dynamic, their actual location, while based on traditional notion of where acupoints are located anatomically as exposed by most modern acupuncture texts. So here's my point. Unlike the point description in modern days acupuncture book, actually acupuncture always has been dynamic and live. And we need to find them. That is the point. That is the point of light point. A key skill of TMT practitioner is locating acupoints via the sense of touching using the lateral corner of index finger near the fingernail. So they are practicing this to sense the live point, not the shape of the fingers. Once the live point is located, the practitioner forms a circle with their index finger and thumb, the osuhide, at the surface of the skin, lightly touching the patient's body. The needle shaft is then inserted between the practitioner's thumb and finger so that the tip is above the acupoint. So it is not that different from very general technique, which is called nailing or holding with two fingers. But I think Japanese people are gifted with making something fancier, like a sushi. Okay, but I think there's this very important meaning. Select appropriate su point for treatment and locate the live point. Press the pads of the index finger and thumb of the left hand lightly together so that their juncture lies exactly over the light point. So it is about finding the live point and make the insertion hand progress easier. So if that is the reason we call that supporting hand in many cases. And this is from another book, Japanese Acupuncture 101 by Carl Wagner. The Japanese practitioner have a fluid concept of acupuncture point location. Not only Japanese, I do too. And a lot of ancient acupuncturists did this. It is live. It goes around like a goldfish in a pond. And point maps and body measurements are guides to the location of the point. Guys. But keeps in mind that meridian pathways are energetic streams that exist in living, organic, and constantly changing human body. Body type, stage of disease, time of day, season, and many other things may affect the exact location of the point. Therefore, the Japanese practitioners refer to tsubo or live point as applies to a needle. So maybe Korean friend will argue about this. We call that active point or dynamic point. So we are referring to same thing. A live point is active point and is found by touching rather than measurement. This is very important comment. It is found by touch, not by measurement. So that is the reason I put so much emphasis on feeling the point, not measuring the point. Some points have clear anatomical boundaries, like a LI5, for example, but even points like this must be searched for with the fingers, osuhide. The direction that the finger sinks into when it finds the point is direction to apply the needle. So needle direction. These hollow points are treated as differences, deficiencies. Contact needling, tension, contact needling, not inserting, direct moxa, tonifying technique is applied until, so it sense the key, until sense the key. So here's my answer. We start with finding the point, but eventually we are going to feeling the qi and ti until Oside sense the qi. That is the reason why the helping hand is still there, even after needle is inserted into the skin. So these are the common terms referring to same live point, actual point, real point, dynamic point, active point. I think most dominant term, popular term must be active point. We use this term a lot in various research articles, active point. Do you know where is the appendix, your appendix? Yeah, probably you know about the McBurney's point. It is 2/3 of the point from umbilicus to ASIS. But do you think your appendix really lies there? If you have a chance to have a surgery, will you do the surgery without just sensing that or confirming that? McBurney's point is the name given to the point over right side of the abdomen. This is near the most common location of appendix. This is just common location, not actual location. So McBurney's point is not the actual location. So will you do surgery without confirmation of the actual appendix? It's not total nonsense. Nobody wouldn't do that. But with the acupuncture, we do that a lot without confirmation. We put the needles only by measurement. It is like doing appendectomy. How do you call it? Whatever it is. So cutting off the appendix without the confirmation is just nonsense. And then how will you confirm the location? This is the problem. How will you confirm the location? How? Maybe you can practice or see that in Japanese school, my baby 3 years. But these days, it is very hard to find those schools. Not even Korea or China or Japan. Actually, I learned those things not in the school, but I learned that after graduating the school. So it is funny. We are missing such a simple truth. So it is like finding the treasure. The treasure is hidden deep inside of your ground. And you have a map, maybe 5 steps to the east from oak tree, and you take the 5 steps and you dig the ground. Although you didn't find anything, but you are certain that I had a treasure because I dig the right place based on treasure map. It is total nonsense. I'm happy because I have a treasure. Where is your treasure? Yeah, I just dig the place. There must be. I cannot see that, but there must be. So there's a word, map is not the territory. Map is not the territory. This map is totally different from this mountain. Same thing goes with the acupoint. What you are learning is just map, not the territory. You know how that map is drawn? It's very interesting. In an Beijing or Linshu, there is no map. Not even a map. There is only poem. I think a Chinese student can read this. This is from Linshu. The only clue we can find from Linshu is in the between this bone. The bone on the thumb It is located in the between this bone, not these two bones, but just thumb bones. And 300 years later, this book referred to the point between these two bones. Now you can see what kind of point they are talking about, Li4. So they wrote different poem from generation to generation to let us know where the treasure is hidden. So it is like a drawing a treasure map from poem, like my favorite movie, Goonies, 80s. Yeah, we all love this movie. So this is actual poem about the location of the treasure. They are still finding the treasure with this poem. So you are using the map drawn from the poem. How can that be accurate? That is the reason all the acupuncture books says different location or different directions. So actually, that is very natural phenomenon. So you drew the map from the poem. Everybody has different map. Nobody needs to be blamed. This is the source. They drew the source from which they drew the map. So China, Japan, South Korea, they have all different locations. Not much of difference, but maybe 3 steps from oak tree or 5 steps from oak tree. Just slight difference. So it is not that strange. We are just talking about the map, not actual place. Map is different. It is just natural. But actual point, actual place must be just one. Even though map can be many. And only thing you can find the actual point is digging. So let's talk about digging the location. So exploring the actual point, I thought a lot about translating this Chinese letter. I'm not sure this is the proper translation. It is very hard to translate something into English. This letter literally means to examine or investigating in meticulous way. And this is the point. So how to investigate the point. So I just translate into investigating the point. Investigating the acupuncture point in meticulous way based on various response. Which response? Patient response or the sense of your fingertips or comprehensive context like anatomical landmarks or measurement. We may know the coordinates like this. So we have a coordinate, acupuncture map, but eventually need to investigate the actual point. And this is not that easy. They use this kind of sumo, am I right? To look for, explore, or probe. Then what they find with their fingertips. First one is this one. And this letter means something is hidden under the blanket or under the carpet. Then you can feel that dump. Here's a perfect analogy. Do you remember the story of the princess? The fake princess and real princess, and they wanted to find who is the real princess, and they put the small beans in there under the mattress. Do you remember this story? Okay. I can say only Asian students learn about this story. It's very strange. It looks very European background. So under the mattress, they put the beans, and only the real princess noticed the beans. And she complained about the terrible hospitality regarding the bed. And what we find is this one. This one is called Luruyeon in Korean. It means just something under the carpet, hump or dump. You can feel that little dump, little mess. It's not that significant, but ancient book used this specific language, specific word to express the acupuncture point. So it is hidden under the carpet or even under the mattress, but actual princess could feel it. So it can be a nodule in modern days term, or just different texture or different mass around the point. That is one clue we can find from ancient book. And many of the books says this one, pulsating. So if the point is pulsating, maybe it can be an actual blood pulsating, or it can be just flow of the chi. Whatever it is, if you can feel the movement right on the fingertip, that is the actual point. So let's translate it into moving, not pulsating. And another most commonly used expression is depression or hollow or sink. So it goes, yeah, sink is maybe the best word. When you rub it or stroke it, you may feel the sink in a specific spot. So these are the terms you will find in ancient books when you want to know about the actual point. And there are many other words or phrases referring to the actual point, pretty much very similar to these three categories. Okay, Stella, thank you. Shen Shu, Sen Shu, Sen Shu. So it is about finding the point, Shen Shu. And this is from the book, very famous book, Dongyi Bogam. It says, if you can read Chinese, please try to read this. And if you are Korean, try to read this in Korea. It says, such variables must be taken into account, considered to determine accurate needling point. Accurate needling point means dynamic point, active point. Only the physician who can carefully observe the patterns of the muscle, linings of the joint, and the flesh, depressions, or the areas which the patient says are tender or painful or refreshing can locate the actual needling point. So this one sentence summarizes everything we talked about. So this is not the old tradition of only Japanese, not only Korea or China. Actually, this has been very basic and mandatory knowledge we need to take care of. I like this expression. This letter means real, actual, real, genuine, right? Am I right, Stella? Is it genuine? Yes. So genuine acupuncture, not the similar acupuncture, not the acupuncture-rich point, acupuncture-like point. This is genuine acupuncture point. So try to contemplate this one sentence. So here's my summary. How do you locate the point? And based on bone measurement and anatomical landmarks. So everything taken into account. So all things considered. And second, based on patient and practitioner's sensation. And third, based on acupuncture response. So do you remember the book Japanese Acupuncture 101 that says, check the response with supporting hand even after insertion of the needle? Yes, it is connected to ditch response. Maybe you may think, what? This is the how to locate the point? But yes, it is. Third one. And this is the most important one, actually, among these three. So it is kind of contradictory. So to find the actual point, you need to do the needling. But it is so common sense. If you want to find the treasure under the ground, first thing you need to do is digging. Yes, the digging is needling. And actually, this is from the Nazi, surprisingly. So how can you locate the point? With needling and checking the response. Interesting. Acupuncture is very interesting. So let's talk about teaching. If this is from the mating, if when piercing the vessel, the chi failed to arrive,
one must continue regardless of how often they pierce. It is surprising too. If you do not get the chi response, you should not keep on doing acupuncture forever. So it is very surprising. That is what Neijing said, not me. When the chi arrives, this shows the effect. The effect, they are as reliable as the wind that blows away cloud. They are as clear as the appearance of the blue sky. So the response should be very vivid, not ambiguous. It should be very clear.
Rest of the story. And I gave you this material already. And this is the chi. And this is, as I remember, this is Danish movie. And if you do not feel a arrival of chi, try acupuncture until you do. Okay. So, but we usually think chi is just this kind of patient feeling. So it always have been bothered me. So I tried my best to find where did it came from. They are cling to some very strange idea. This idea, sore, numbness, heaviness, detention, these four feelings. We usually learn this four sensation is the chi response. But I'm teaching medical history too. I try to my best to find where did it came from. But interesting thing is I couldn't find that. So we are learning something bursted out the word into the word without any appropriate rationale. Somebody started this and everybody's repeating it. The teaching response is a way more wider concept. Not only these four feelings, this is very absurd to me. So this is a very long story from finding the live point and teaching response, but they are just one story. It is about communication. That is my point. Okay, it is time to break. So 15 minutes.